Hello! As we all know in everyday conversations, the term guarantor, surety, and referee are often used interchangeably. Yet in legal, financial, and contractual contexts, these roles are different, each carrying its own weight and responsibilities. Unfortunately, many people commit themselves to obligations they do not fully understand, simply because they did not know the difference between these terms. A guarantor is often mistaken for a surety, but the law separates it. A guarantor is only secondary liable, stepping in after the primary party defaults, while on the other hand, a surety is jointly and immediately responsible alongside with the primary and principal debtor. Whereas a referee plays a reputational role, serving as a character witness or credibility supporters, which carries no legal or financial liabilities as the latter. In a nutshell, a guarantor is not a surety nor a referee. This is not just semantics. It's a necessary clarification. Understanding this distinction is not just for academic purpose. It's to safeguard the individual from unknowingly assuming risk that could alter their financial stability or personal relationship. Now, let's unpack each role clearly. The term guarantor, surety, and referrer may sound similar or even overlap in conversations. They are fundamentally different in responsibilities and implications. A guarantor is someone who promises to repay a loan or fulfill an obligation only if the primary party fails to do so. This responsibility is secondary, not immediate. For example, if you take a loan from a bank and cannot pay, the bank may then turn to your guarantor, but only after confirming that you defaulted. The key is that the guarantor is a safety net, not the first resort. A surety is someone who is equally and immediately liable with the principal debtor. If the debt is due, the creditor can go straight to the surety without even approaching the original borrower first. For example, if you're a surety and the borrower misses a payment, the lender can demand the money from you instantly. The key point is a surety shares equal responsibility from day one. A referee is a character witness. In most cases, especially when it comes to jobs, tenancy, or casual references, it's simply someone who vouches for the character or credibility of another person. For example, on a rental form, you may be asked to list your referee, not because they may pay the rent if you default, but to confirm you're trustworthy. The key point is a referee has no legal or financial liability. Now, why knowing the difference? It's because mixing these roles can lead to serious legal and financial consequences. Many people intend to be a guarantor without knowing they are signing a document that makes them a surety, legally binding them to pay immediately. Also, some people list their friends and acquaintances as referrer, knowingly or unknowingly to them, only for them to realize and get panic, thinking they are being held liable. No, it's not like that. Okay, let's look at the biblical analogy to have a clearer understanding of how it works. For instance, in Genesis 43, chapter 43 to 44 thereabout, when Jacob's sons had to return to Egypt, Judah told his father, "Concerning Benjamin, I myself will be surety for him. From my hand you may require him," according to Judah. By this, Judah was not saying he would merely be a guarantor to Benjamin's safety. He was binding himself to bear the full responsibility, even to the point of his own life. That is the weight of a surety. Judah was making himself a surety to Benjamin. He told his father, "Require him from my hand." A surety, like I told you earlier, carries equal and immediate liability. That means Judah was telling Jacob, in case Benjamin just choose not to come back, or in case anything happens to Benjamin, in case Benjamin on his own just choose to disappear, require him from me. That is a surety immediate liability. Now let's also look at the biblical analogy of a guarantor in the Bible. Let's go into Philemon chapter 1 verse 18 to 19. When Paul told Philemon, he said, and I quote, "If he has wronged you or owes you anything, put that on my account. I, Paul, write with my own hand. I will repay it." In this situation, Paul was not equally liable from the start. He only stepped in by saying to Philemon that if Onesimus defaulted, he will be the guarantor. This is one who steps in conditionally if only the principal fails. According to what we can see in Philemon chapter 1 verse 18 to 19, Paul stepping in for Onesimus, telling Philemon that if Onesimus failed to pay, Paul, you should put it in his account. That is a guarantor. Now let's look at the biblical analogy of a referee. We can see that in Acts 9 26 to 27, Acts chapter 9 verse 26 to 27, when the disciples feared to associate with Saul after it's you know who Saul has been, you know what he has done to them. So when disciples, they failed to associate with Saul, even after his conversion, Barnabas brought him to the apostles and testified of his encounter with Christ. Barnabas told them that the Saul you think you know is not the same person, that he has actually encountered Christ. He vouched for Saul's credibility, but did not take any financial or legal liability. That is referral. He did not say you can give your money to Saul, or if Saul spend your money, I will do this. Or no, he vouched for his credibility that this Saul you are looking at is not the same person. He's no more Saul. He has encountered Christ. That is vouching for his credibility. You know, just like we are trying to have biblical analogy to have a clearer understanding. Barnabas vouched for Saul's credibility. He said he can vouch for his character and his credibility. He's not standing in for a financial or is he having a legal liability. That is referral. So sometimes what you need to understand these three, guarantor, surety, and referral, is that, like I said earlier, some people just have the intention of being a guarantor. That's what they wanted to do. That okay, in case this person fails, which they kind of trust the person will not fail, that okay, it's when this person failed they'll come to me. Not knowing they are signing in as a surety. Their intention was to be a guarantor, but reading the book they're like, I need a surety. They'll sign as a surety thinking they are guarantor. No, you're already a surety, and surety, they may even choose not to go to that person immediately. You are already responsible for whatever that person does. There's some people, their friends or their acquaintance will may drop their name as a referrer, and they'll put a call through to them. We want to ask about this person. This person drop your name as a referrer. They'll be afraid. Hey, where did you drop my name? I mean, no, referrer. You're just supposed to vouch for the credibility of the character of the person. Just to paraphrase everything, a guarantor. We had the example of Paul. Paul stood in as a guarantor for Onesimus. He said if he fails, he will step in. As a surety, Judas stood in as a surety for Benjamin. That he said, hold me responsible if anything happens to Benjamin. Judas did that. Then as referrer, Barnabas stood in for Saul. He said, I can vouch for his character he has met with Christ. Just to put it in a nutshell. In conclusion, my people, a guarantor is not a surety and definitely not a referrer. As a matter of fact, a surety pays the debt immediately. A guarantor pays up the debt afterward if the principal disappears. But referral has nothing to do with debt. It's just a character reference. In a nutshell, don't sign anything until you understand which role you are assuming and exactly what that role means in legal terms. Thank you for stopping by. It's doing better with Ariola. Thank you.